Last time we tried the Swagger API document. Now this time we will try this Spring Data REST API document. Actually, it's not an API document, it's a browser using the HAL formats to describe those APIs and interact with those APIs. Now, before we start the Spring Boot application, we often need MongoDB to be set up because our Spring Boot application, if we want to use MongoDB as a backend database, we need that to be set. So there is a way we call it embedded MongoDB. We only need to include some dependency, then it will download the needed MongoDB. It will download the needed MongoDB to your local environment to set up this Spring Boot application. It's very simple. We just need this one, this dflap-doodle dependency, and also the Spring Data REST HAL browser is for showing a web interface for us to interact with the APIs. This API is especially for the Spring Data REST. And we need a Spring Boot MongoDB dependency like this one. Spring Boot database, Spring data MongoDB dependency. And so we only need these three. This is for Spring Boot to integrate with MongoDB. This is for the embedded MongoDB. And this is for the Spring Data REST web UI. We call it HAL browser. Okay, after that we can start our application, Spring Boot application, and it will show and it will download the embedded very small light MongoDB from internet to your local. And we should notice that every time we restart the Spring Boot application, the MongoDB is will be refreshed to a new one, brand new one. So it will lose data. It's just for you to quick start with MongoDB. Yes, it's very convenient, handy, and also we can define the MongoDB port, which port it is. Yes, we can also leave it none, leave it empty, then it will have a random port, I believe. Or we can make the port as 0, it will make you a random port MongoDB connection. We don't need to we don't need to know which port the MongoDB is. It can just connect to the MongoDB. And when we want to use it, we just need to use Mongo operations to unroll this public, and we can use this Mongo template to use Mongo to interact with MongoDB. Now we want to try Spring Data REST, so we need to define this repository interface. After we've done that, so please ignore this one. This one is the last topic about the Swagger API, so it's irrelevant. We only need to write the interface, extend this in Spring Data interface. Then we will have a HAL browser like this one. The HAL, what is the HAL? HAL is the format based on the JSON. It's like this. That means the JSON. Let's take a look at the example. Now this time is this one. Where is it? Like this. It will have a browser. This is just like the Swagger API document, but it's ugly. But it's also useful. It can be used to insert some test data in it. Okay, like this one, we can see there is when we click on the go to entry point, so we can have the entity, which is the data model defined in the Spring Data project, in this project. And we can have the get method or non-get method. Non-get method like post or something, you should define it by itself. And like here, you can insert some data. Okay, post, it will request this URL and insert the file into MongoDB, and you can see that 201 is successful. And then we can use the get to get this specific entity, and we can also use here click go to get the result. And you can see we have two entities inserted to the MongoDB database. The one is 10 and the 33 that we inserted just now. And this format is called. You can see that this JSON represents the object in database, but not. But in addition to that, we have underscore links. This underscore links is the HAL format. It can link to itself, and it can have a self link, and then you can see that you can have maybe next link or profile link or some other kind of links. So the HAL is the industry defined convention, and the industry wants to make the JSON to be browsable from internet, like we click on, just like we click on the button in web pages, it can link you to somewhere else. Yeah, that's it. So this Swing database is very simple. You just need to introduce the dependencies into your project. Only one dependency to make this browser show up for your testing. There is a much cooler feature that if you use MongoDB, if you use Spring Cloud to connect to the MongoDB, you don't need to create a database beforehand. You can just write whatever database you want, and then the Spring Cloud Spring Data MongoDB will create it for you. Right here, every time I can configure a new one, after I restart the application, it will create a database and collections as well. It will, like this one, I have started a Spring Boot application. Let me query from the MongoDB campus show database. Let me show my database. You see there is a FR2 has been generated by Spring Cloud Spring Boot application.